Today I am going to teach you about hydrogen bonding, and not only that, we are going to solve many questions which come under this topic. Okay, so please watch this video without skipping, and you are new to this channel, please subscribe my channel. Okay, so first of all, what is hydrogen bonding? Okay, so it is an electrostatic attraction force. Okay, so what is that? It is an electrostatic attraction force formed between the hydrogen atom, okay, that is already covalently bonded to a highly electronegative, okay, atoms such as oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine, and to the lone pair of another highly electronegative atom, which is also must be oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine. Okay, so I'll tell you what is about hydrogen bonding. Don't confuse yourself. See, a highly electronegative atom, okay, so to which your hydrogen atom must be covalently attached. Okay, so this is a covalent bond. Okay, so it is a electrostatic attraction force. It is a very weak bond which is formed to the lone pair of another highly electronegative atom. Okay, so your highly electronegative atom must be what? Either oxygen, your nitrogen, or fluorine. Okay, so same here, either oxygen, nitrogen, or fluorine. Why they have chosen it? Okay, so here when you see the hydrogen, the electronegativity value of hydrogen, it is nearly 2.1, and for that oxygen it will be 3.5, and for nitrogen it is 3, and for fluorine it is 4. Okay, so when compared to hydrogen, you see these are the highly electronegative atoms found in the periodic table. And why this is a specific criteria, why it has to be highly electronegative, why it has to be highly electronegative? Because when hydrogen is attached to a highly electronegative atom, okay, there occurs a huge difference, electronegative difference. Okay, so due to that, what happens in this covalent bond, there are two electrons, right? So due to this, if your atom is highly electronegative, okay, so the electrons will move closer to this atom, so this creates a dipole here. So this acquires a partial negative charge, and this acquires a partial positive charge, which in turn, okay, will be attracted, this partial positive charge, okay, will be attracted towards the lone pair of another highly electronegative atom. Okay, so like charges attract, opposite charges attract each other, no? So this acquires a positive charge, and there is an electron cloud, obviously that will be negative. Okay, so there occurs an electrostatic attraction. So obviously your hydrogen bonding is what? Hydrogen bonding will be weaker. Okay, is very much weaker than your covalent bond. Okay, so the weakest is van der Waals force. The very weakest is the van der Waals force. Please remember that. And why this atom also has to be highly electronegative? Because the electronegativity, what happens? More the electronegativity, the size decreases, right? The size of the atom decreases. So when the size is reduced, okay, the electron density increases. So the lone pair on a small atom, the electron density is more. So more the electron density, more will be the attraction force. So what is the criteria, student? So first, hydrogen must be attached to a highly electronegative atom. Okay, so the second step, a lone pair must be there. Lone pair of an highly electronegative atom. So these are the criteria which has to be satisfied to form an efficient hydrogen bonding. Okay, so first of all we will see an example. Okay, we will take water as the example. See, in water, your oxygen is there. Okay, your oxygen is there, and our oxygen has two lone pairs, we already know. Okay, so the hydrogen must be directly attached to the electronegative atom. That is the main criteria. Yes, the hydrogen is directly attached to oxygen. Very good. Then a lone pair. Okay, oxygen has a lone pair, and the electronegativity of oxygen is very high, so the size will be less and the electron density will be more. So it can form hydrogen bonding, right? It can form hydrogen bonding with this lone pair of electrons. So water is capable of forming hydrogen bonding. So next example is what? If we take ammonia, yes, ammonia also has nitrogen electronegativity is very much higher than hydrogen. Okay, and your nitrogen has lone pair, so very well your hydrogen can form hydrogen bonding. So here when we see the hydrogen bonding is formed between one molecule and then another molecule. Here also the hydrogen bonding is between one molecule of ammonia and another molecule of ammonia. So this we call it as what? Intermolecular hydrogen bonding. We know inter-school competition. What is that? A competition between a school and then another school. So this is the hydrogen bonding between one molecule and then another molecule. So this we call it as intermolecular hydrogen bonding. We also have one more hydrogen bonding, which is intramolecular hydrogen bonding. What is intra-school competition within the school? Okay, so intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So what is the necessary criteria for hydrogen bonding, students? There must be a hydrogen which is directly attached to the highly electronegative atom, okay, which must be electrostatically attached to the another electronegative atom having lone pair. If this criteria is solved within the same molecule, we call it as intramolecular hydrogen bonding. You see, this is known as ethylene glycol. We have a hydrogen right directly attached to the oxygen, and your oxygen is has lone pair. You see, you have the lone pair within the molecule. Okay, if you can very well form a hydrogen bonding within the molecule, then it is known as intramolecular hydrogen bonding. See how it is going to form. Your hydrogen, see, this is the lone pair, and this is, I'm writing in dotted lines using a different color. This is the hydrogen bonding. You see, if a hydrogen bonding could be formed within the molecule through a six-membered or a five-membered ring, okay, it is known as intramolecular hydrogen bonding. It is not only that it must be close to the hydrogen, but it must form either through a five-membered or a six-membered ring. This is very important. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-membered ring. Okay, so if this could happen within the molecule, we call it as intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Now we are going to solve we are going to find out whether a molecule is capable of forming hydrogen bonding or not. If yes, whether it is inter or intra, we are going to see. Okay, so this is a plain alkane. Your hydrogen is attached to a carbon. So carbon and hydrogen have equal electronegativity, so it cannot form hydrogen bonding. The criteria is not satisfied here. Here also we don't have any hydrogen directly attached to the electronegative atom, so it cannot form hydrogen bonding. Your alkyl halide cannot form hydrogen bonding. Your plain alkane cannot form hydrogen bonding. Okay, so now comes your alcohol. Yes, your alcohol, oxygen to your oxygen, your hydrogen is directly attached and your oxygen has lone pair, so it can form hydrogen bonding. So if yes, inter or intra, it can form intermolecular hydrogen bonding, no intra, because the lone pair donor is not within the molecule. You have to form a hydrogen bonding with the other molecule, so it is inter. So aldehyde, you have an oxygen with a lone pair, but hydrogen is not directly attached to the oxygen, so it cannot form hydrogen bonding. Your ketone, you have oxygen, but hydrogen is not attached to the oxygen, no hydrogen bonding. Here your ether, you have an oxygen, okay, with a lone pair, but your hydrogen is not directly attached. You see, you have hydrogen which is attached to carbon and not directly attached to the oxygen. And your carboxylic acid, yes, you have two oxygen with lone pairs and your hydrogen is directly attached to the oxygen. It can form a strong hydrogen bonding, and it can form only intermolecular hydrogen bonding to another molecule of acid. In fact, your carboxylic acid can form a dimer a dimer will be formed. You see, this is intermolecular hydrogen bonding of another molecule. I'll draw in a different color. Okay, so this one your carbonyl. So this is your carbonyl. Okay, you see, this is how your carboxylic acid exists in dimer. So it is also intermolecule, one molecule and another molecule. Okay, and your ester, you have two oxygen, but your hydrogen is not there directly attached to it, so it cannot form. And your amine, yes, you have nitrogen with a lone pair and two hydrogen directly attached. Yes, very well, it can form. It will form intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Okay, so then comes to your amide. You have oxygen, you have nitrogen and two hydrogen directly attached, so it can form hydrogen bonding and it form intermolecular hydrogen bonding. You can form intermolecular. You see, this is salicylic acid. Salicylic acid, you have oxygen, you see alcohol group also and carboxylic group also. You can strongly, there is a strong hydrogen bonding, whether inter or intra. If you see, if you closely watch this structure, you see it can form. Okay, your salicylic acid, see how it is involved in the hydrogen bonding. I'll tell you. So this is your okay, so this is how your intramolecular hydrogen bonding. How many members are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6. See, it is a 6-membered ring. I told you, if it can form a 6-membered or a 5-membered ring within the molecule, okay, to form a hydrogen bonding, that is very much stable. So this is intra. Okay, so this is very important. This will form intramolecular hydrogen bonding. And you see, you have the carboxylic acid also and the alcohol group also, okay, hydroxyl group also, but they are not near to each other. They cannot reach. Okay, so it forms hydrogen bonding but inter. Okay, so how it will be formed? Your carboxylic acid part will be involved in the hydrogen bonding, okay, with the another molecule of alcohol or something. Okay, this is how the network goes. See, and here the alcohol group, this will be involved in hydrogen bonding like this to another molecule. So there happens an intermolecular hydrogen bonding by combining many molecules. Okay, so this is how it goes. Okay, so with this is what, two molecules are there, but they cannot approach each other. They are very far away. But here it is in the close proximity, so it can form very well form hydrogen bonding within a 6-membered structure. Okay, so this is inter and this is intra. And now what we are going to see is why this hydrogen bonding we have to read, because hydrogen bonding, its effects are very much in the physical properties, such as boiling point, solubility in water, and the physical state of organic compounds. Let's see one by one what it is. See, often the compounds having the hydrogen bonding have high boiling point. They will have high boiling point. Why is it so? Because you see, due to hydrogen bonding, the molecule comes very closer to each other. If you take water, what happens? Your oxygen is having two lone pair of electrons, which can involve in hydrogen bonding, and two hydrogen directly attached to oxygen. This can also involve in hydrogen bonding. See how the more the number of hydrogen bonding, more the network will be, more the molecules will get associated. So thereby what you have to do, you have to supply more temperature, you have to supply more energy in order to break all the interactions, okay, to make it boil. So what is boiling point, students? You have to convert the liquid state into the vapor state, right? So you have to break all the intermolecular attractions. In order to do that, in order to overcome that, you need to supply more energy. To convert the liquid into vapor. So it takes more boiling point. So often compounds which has the capability to form hydrogen bonding will have more boiling point. Then comes to the solubility. Solubility in water. So often we see the compounds which can form hydrogen bonding are highly soluble in water. So what is the reason for that? If you take alcohol and if you put in water, so what happens? Your alcohol has a lone pair and a acidic hydrogen, okay, which is capable of forming hydrogen bond. Your water is also having your lone pair and two hydrogen. So what will form? Immediately hydrogen bond will form between your water molecule and the alcohol. So your alcohols are very much soluble. Why, students? Because your organic compounds already are capable of forming hydrogen bonding, and so is your water, and they themselves form intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So immediately when you put alcohol in water, it will be surrounded by water molecules. Okay, so for that reason your organic compounds are soluble, which are capable of forming hydrogen bonding, or soluble in water. Then your physical state. See what happens to your physical state. I told you hydrogen bonding leads to the association of molecules. Due to hydrogen bonding, the molecules come closer to each other. A network has been formed, isn't it? So it forms the molecules to come closer. There is a strong intermolecular forces. There is a huge association of molecules, and due to this, see one famous question is there. See why your water exists as liquid, whereas your the same group, hydrogen sulfide, your selenium, your tellurium, all the members of the other members of the family, their hydrides are they are gaseous in nature. They are gases, and only this is liquid, because due to hydrogen bonding. Your water is capable of forming hydrogen bonding, and due to that the molecule come very closer to each other, okay, and therefore it exists as liquid. Whereas the other members, their electronegativity are very less. Your oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium, etc., down the group the electronegativity decreases. Okay, so their electronegativity are not up to the mark to satisfy, to create the necessary polarity, necessary dipole to make the hydrogen more electropositive in nature. That's how your hydrogen bonding is being formed. Okay, so your water is liquid in nature, whereas the other members, their hydrides are gases. So now we are going to solve a set of questions. Okay, thereby you can learn so much from this questions. You can learn so many things, not only in your board exams, your many competitive exams. You can see all kind of questions. See, you have to between water and ammonia, you have to tell which is having more water and ammonia. You have to tell which is having more boiling point. And if you take water and ammonia, both are capable of forming hydrogen bonding, because there is oxygen here and nitrogen here, both are highly electronegative. But is there any difference? Yes, there is a difference. If you take water molecule, you have lone pair, and how many hydrogen bondings are expected? Your lone pairs are capable of forming hydrogen bonding, so your lone pairs will form two hydrogen bond, and your hydrogen will also can form hydrogen bonding with other molecule. Your lone pair, it will make hydrogen bonding with the hydrogen of some other molecule. Okay, your hydrogen will interact with the lone pair. So per molecule of water, how many hydrogen bonding it is formed? Hydrogen it can form. So 4 hydrogen bond is expected per molecule of water. If you take ammonia, if your ammonia has only one lone pair, even though you have 3 hydrogen, okay, you need to the 1-to-1 ratio is not there. Okay, so there is a shortage of lone pair. So only your lone pair and one of the hydrogen can form hydrogen bonding. So how many hydrogen bonds are expected? 2 hydrogen bonds are expected per molecule of ammonia. So for this reason, your water has more boiling point than your ammonia. Okay, so this question, you see the molecular weight of all this. See, all are the molecular weight are approximately same for the plain alkane and for the alcohol and for the ether. So you have to tell the boiling point order. So as you see, As you see, in alkane there is no hydrogen bonding, and in ether there is no hydrogen bonding. So your alcohol will have the maximum hydrogen bonding. So because it more molecules it will interact, so it will have higher boiling point, and these two will have moreover the same boiling point. Approximately they will have same, but your alcohol will have the maximum boiling point. And then coming to this question, arrange the following in the increasing order of boiling point. And as you see, this is an alcohol and these are amine. And when you compare the electronegativity, so this is an alcohol of they are of comparable mass, so the van der Waals force is same. So taking this into account, so your nitrogen and oxygen, between that which is more electronegative or oxygen, so it will form an efficient hydrogen bonding when compared to nitrogen. So obviously your alcohol will come first. And between this is a primary amine and secondary amine. Your primary amine has less steric hindrance, so it can form efficient hydrogen bonding. See, this nitrogen is also having one lone pair and one hydrogen. Here 1:1 ratio is followed, and here one lone pair, and even though it has two hydrogen, only one hydrogen can make a hydrogen bond. It is like it cannot find, it is the lone pair is not enough to form the hydrogen bonds, isn't it? So all are having the same number of hydrogen bond, but due to steric reasons, your primary amine will form will have higher boiling point than this one. So next one, so between ammonia and phosphine, the boiling point order. And as you see, when we move down the group, when we move down any group, the boiling point has to increase due to the increase in the size of the molecule. But your ammonia can form efficient hydrogen bonding because the electronegativity of nitrogen will be around 3 or will be around 2.5, I think. Okay, 2.5, and your phosphorus will be around 2.1, which is similar to your hydrogen. So your phosphorus is not much electronegative to make the hydrogen bonding effective. So obviously your ammonia will have higher boiling point. Then this question has been asked in NCERT exam many times. So in a mixture of ortho and para nitrophenols, okay, so this is your orthonitrophenol and paranitrophenol. The separation technique, if this is in a mixture, we used to separate in steam distillation. Okay, so which isomer will be steam volatile? So we have to analyze. So how this is related to hydrogen bonding? So I'll tell you. See, in your ortho isomer there is an intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So this is your nitrogen. Okay, and what happens, see, this is your oxygen and this is your oxygen. So there is a six member transition state, so through which your intramolecular hydrogen bonding intramolecular hydrogen bonding will be formed. Okay, whereas in your para isomer, the alcohol and the nitro group are not closer to each other, so we can expect only an intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Only. So due to this, what is the major difference cause? See, due to the intermolecular hydrogen bonding, the molecules come very much closer and there happens a huge intermolecular forces. So in order to overcome all that intermolecular forces, we need to supply much energy to bring it to boil. Okay, so since it is involved in intramolecular hydrogen bonding, there is no connection between one molecule and another molecule, because since it forms intramolecular hydrogen bonding, no other interaction takes place with other molecules. So these molecules, when you see the ortho, these molecules will stay far apart from each other, whereas in our intermolecular hydrogen bonding, the association of the molecules is very much. Okay, so what happens? So in order to overcome all those intermolecular attractions, we need to supply more energy to bring it to boil, whereas already it exists how to say it stays alone. Each molecule is not associated with other molecule because it forms hydrogen bonding within themselves. So the molecule has no connection with other molecules, so you can easily bring it to boil. So if you see, it boils at 46 degrees Celsius, okay, and it boils at greater than 350 degrees Celsius, 350 or 200, no, greater than 200. So it boils at greater than 200. So making use of this, see, there is a huge temperature difference. Making use of this, it can be easily separated. Its vapor pressure is very high, so it can be easily separated through steam distillation, whereas this is not. See, steam 100 degrees Celsius, no, easily it can come with this temperature. But this molecule, due to strong intermolecular forces, it takes higher temperature to boil. Okay, so this is the isomer. So name the isomer, they asked. So it is the orthonitrophenol, which can be easily removed, which is steam volatile is orthonitrophenol. And then coming to this, your carboxylic acid, your alcohol, and your amine, they have asked the solubility in water. As you see, the carboxylic acid, your alcohol, and your amine, all are capable of forming hydrogen bonding, right? So which one? You have to tell the order. All are capable of forming hydrogen bonding. So in all the molecules, we have the necessary criteria. But see, your nitrogen is least electronegative when compared to oxygen. Okay, so it will have less solubility in water. It cannot form a highly efficient hydrogen bonding with water. When compared to this carboxylic acid and oxygen, the presence of the carboxylic acid group, what it is electron withdrawing in nature. The presence of this makes oxygen even more electronegative, so the hydrogen will form efficient hydrogen bonding with water. And one more thing, in carboxylic acid, not only your oxygen, you have two oxygens which can very well involve in hydrogen bonding. So per molecule it can form 3 hydrogen bondings, whereas in your alcohol you can form 2 hydrogen bonds. Okay, so this is what 3 and this is 2. And your nitrogen, due to its least electronegativity, will have comparatively less solubility in water. So the order goes like this. Okay, so here carboxylic acid, your alcohol, and amine, which will have a higher boiling point. For the same reason, it is not in water, but as a molecule, your carboxylic acid exists as dimer. It exists as dimer. So due to this, your so this is a bond that is being formed. Okay, so this is of another molecule, you need to supply more energy. Okay, so when compared to alcohol, so alcohol in turn can form efficient hydrogen bonding within the molecule than amine. So your order goes like this. You will have higher boiling point than your alcohol, which in turn has a higher boiling point than your amine. Thank you, students. Thanks for watching.